Good evening from London, England, from Kent, England, actually. And it's the 24th of
Good
March,
evening from
2026. And again, it's another market recap session. Hope you're well. Hope everyone had a good day. And just as you can see me looking left and right, I just want to share my screen, of course. So, yes, just to see how, well, just do a quick recap session for the day. As usual, we're going to keep it very short. Well, we'll try and keep it short. We'll try and make it digestible. But first and foremost, I hope you all had a great trading day. As usual, we all know, well, not as usual, but we all know what's going on in the market at the moment. And, you know, unfortunately, there's war in the markets, but we are here to, talk about the war. Sorry, not talk about the war, talk about the markets, how we are reacting to it, and what opportunities happen in the market. And if you notice, there's been something I've been doing, which is I'm trying to avoid well, not avoiding it, but I'm not spending so much time on pardon me. Yeah, I'm not spending so much time on what's it called? On the corporate news or corporate events. Now, and as usual, let me start with this. What am I starting with? I am starting with, I call it the BK line, the BK line. It's my line. Look at this line I drew in the sand. Can you see what date that is? That is the 27th of October last year. That's where the market has been. And I put the box, again, I'm going to call it the BK box. It's not really my box, but sometimes you've got to use the box to define things for you, for your audience. And if you've been watching me every day, you notice I've been talking about this every day. The market has not really been anywhere, which is quite interesting, actually. I should be talking about the FX markets as well, but I didn't for obvious reasons. Well, no obvious reason, just did it. Okay, good measure though. Now, what do you notice? The BK line, I'm back on my weekly. We are green for the week, but it looks like the past cumulative 1 week, we are still down 2%. Now, what do we have again? Let's have a look. 27th of October till right now, today. Where are we? Year to date, we're down 5%. The market has just been chopping in a range. Market hasn't actually given any direction, any indication. And look what we had yesterday. Oh no, we are talking now. We're about to have a deal. The deal is closed. The Iranian gave a gift to President Trump. You know what I mean? No more hostilities. We're going to blow off your power plants. We're not going to do that anymore. We'll do these. We'll do that. Strait of Hormuz is not controlled. America is in the skies. American planes are in the skies. We are seeing everything from where we are. Do not worry. We're soon going to be over. And the market boomed yesterday. But guess what happened at the end of the market? News failure. Can you see that? We closed on the red. Now, markets are saying, look, you might talk and say all you want. We actually do not care, frankly, at this stage. And that's what we're getting. News failure. So you can see my line. Sorry, I'm going to move it back up. I just want to leave it there overnight. So this is your S&P not being anywhere. So I saw some great setups, I could tell you, which some of them were not even me. It was shared by the guys in the team. And he said, oh, look at this company, NTAP, NTAP. What do you notice? It looks good, looks amazing. And the past 12 months has been 7% up. The past month, the past three months, well, the past 1 week, not really hasn't been anywhere. So all I'm saying is if you look at the markets, okay, if you pay attention to the markets, if you don't force these trades, the market is telling you, and it's telling you, ignore the news, we are not there yet. Now, I have a few stocks which I used to gauge this market, this particular market. Market changes every time. But this one here, I have an exposure, okay? to Dow. Now, what do we say about Dow? 6% today again, all right? Let's see what it says. In an unsettled market, 35%, 34% in the last 3 months, okay? And this has been helping my portfolio, I've got to say. I have an exposure. I kind of entered early, left, and then I went back in. No lever to trade on this at all. And I believe we're going to see 40 at some point. Again, not financial advice. So I'm going to write it up and probably write it right down. Look, oil is expensive. Gas is expensive. Heating oil, cooking gas is expensive. Therefore, people are moving away from what is safe. Let's talk about software. The biggest, one of the, or the main prominent software index, IGV. What is IGV doing? I remember pushing this and I got in at 85 or thereabout, came right back. I rode it all the way to 87, I think. Now you can see 84% down. There is a problem right here, okay? There's a problem. Let's look at the Magnificent Seven. Apple. What is Apple doing? Year to date, it's green, but down 2%. Google, after that momentous run, which ran until January, year to date, down 2%. Okay, almighty Nvidia, that surely can be down. Of course it is. Down 2%. 2%. Netflix, NFL, NFLX, NFL. Oh, I never thought about that. Look at that. Oh, it's green, 3.5%. Microsoft, there's something stunning about Microsoft today I was looking at. And Microsoft has been really amazing in holding the 200. But look at that. It's down 17.5. I mean, tell me your favorite stock. What do we have? Almighty Berkshire, BRK.B. That is also down. Ooh, there you go, 5%. Your Qs, which is your S&P, how is that? It's down 1%. So the market hasn't been anywhere. It's not telling you anything. I mean, Tesla, we're talking Magnificent Seven. So it seems like Google is only, sorry, Netflix only has been the only one which hasn't actually drooled. Tesla is down 10% year to date. So you got to be careful. Don't chase. The setup is not there. The volume is not there. What is going to give your stock the push? Is it, you might get a news. Okay. If the news happens, you've got to get in, get out, get paid. Full stop. That's what I'm going to say. Look at oil. So the few things I'm going to mention right here as a guiding principle. Oil. Oil, oil is at 87 now, which is amazing, which is what we want, We want oil down. As long as it stays elevated, we are in trouble. 90 is my target. If it stays above 90, I was calling for 100 last Thursday, pushed 100 on Friday. I didn't take it personally, but if you're taking it, you've got to be able to get out quicker because news and headline is moving this market right now. It's your markets. I don't care about your market at the moment. Okay, what's the next thing? So we're talking about oil, gold. I'm going to talk about gold in a minute, but let's talk about dollar. What is the dollar saying? DXY, DXY. What is DXY telling us? DXY is saying, look at that below the trend line, basically. Don't forget, the dollar has been on a 15-year support line. Look at that, since 2011. This is 2026. The dollar has been on a 15-year support. If this breaks, yeah, we're going to celebrate, but someone's got to pay for it somehow. And it's been on a 15-year support, but I'm not thinking it's going to break. I'm thinking if it rips, and that is a problem. Now, this is a monthly, okay? Look, we have trouble all the way to 108. You might push this thing, but at some point, you see the consolidation, at some point, it's gonna go. You got to be careful, stay alert, stay on guard. That's something that might happen anytime soon. So that's another thing I'm looking at. But as long as it stays below 100, day traders, scalpers, you're good. Swing traders, short-term swing traders, you're good. But long-term swing traders, investors, you got to stay alert, be aware. There's a problem. There might be a problem somewhere there. That's number one. Number two, oh, sorry, that's another point out right there. I was talking about I think one of them is OWL and the credit space, the credit space. Okay, OWL. So now this is a problem with these guys. They are getting destroyed by the market. Okay, private private credit space. This is one which we tend to love as a group, but I said, nah, you got to be careful. Look, I didn't want to go too much into corporate news today, but Iris Finance, for example, I think they were being, yeah, limited redemption for the semi-liquid BDs, limited redemption going on for them, and BMO cuts them to 112. You can see that. So it's not about BMO. And there's quite a few of them like that you've got to pay attention to. Let me see if I think I had a list at some point. But anyway, there's quite a few of them like that. Now, also, what would you think is safe? Low interest rate environment? Maybe. But look at Rockets. Rockets been crushed heavily. At some point, this thing was 23. It's been cut into half. Now, let's talk about Circle. Look what happened to Circle today. New risk came out. But hey, where were you when this thing was running from 60, from 49 all the way to 137? Now you see the risk. Well, this is why I take profit. I don't stay too long. You got to take profit. Full stop. Look at Nail, house builders, 3 times ETF. Everything is just getting shellacked at some point. So what do you think you should do right now? So where is the money? In my pocket, in my portfolio, holding cash. That's what I will say. There's certain sectors which is moving, but I think sometimes, like Jesse Livermore, the greatest trader of all time, said the money is in the sitting and it's not all about just holding a position and waiting. Sometimes you got to hold that position. Well, you've got to stay in cash and wait. Let all the dangers go on. Right now we are getting so many mixed headlines. I honestly don't know what to believe, and that's what I'm going to say. So you got to be careful. Just let me do a quick scan today and see if you had anything. So there's a lot of news failure which is going on, but you got to be careful. Don't give your money to the market. There's a there's this small cap here which my friend talks about always, but I've always thought it was going to fail, and it's been failing for a while now. Look at Axon. This was at some point 885, as late as August. This is like 5 months ago, 6 months ago. Now down, it's been cut in half. Okay, so everyone is they're giving away the gains. Estee Lauder was another bloody day today. Shellacking, look at that, 71. What else? So I'm not actually in the Coinbase. I'm not exactly doing any. What's the word? I'm not exactly doing any uh I'm not looking at strategy. I'm not doing any construction here. I'm just looking at different ones and they've been giving it all away. Where's BTC actually? What is Bitcoin saying? Bitcoin dropped from 70 at some point, but it's actually been holding. It went 74 and it's been holding. So maybe this probably a good opportunity. I know some people are buying Bitcoin and just hoping and waiting right now, but hope is not a strategy in this market. Look at that, 20% year to date down. So all I can say is I could pick literally a lot, path, UiPath, he just lost a lot of gains as well today. And I think I was talking about corn. I've been talking about corn for a while. My corn position just literally, it was doomed yesterday from President Trump's tweets, if you can say, from Truth Social message. But guess what? I still held. We shall see what goes on. Honestly, I don't know. But you got to understand that every trade is a risk. Don't risk more than you can afford to lose. Be careful in this market. Don't chase all moving things. And on that note, guys, have a good night. Catch you again tomorrow on the field and have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.